Hi guys, so I'm here today to talk to you about diabetes, specifically type 2 diabetes. Did you know that 12 million of us are at increased risk of developing the condition, which is a huge number? I was concerned that I could develop the condition because of family history. So my nan actually has type 2 diabetes. Also, over the past couple of years, my diet hasn't been the best and I have gained some weight, and also a lack of exercise did make me worry that I could be at risk of developing the condition. Something that you might not be aware of is that Lloydspharmacy actually offer free type 2 diabetes screenings. So given my family history and my concerns, I recently went along to my local Lloydspharmacy to have the test done. When I got there, I was taken into a private consultation room, so you're away from everybody else and you are asked a series of questions about family history and your lifestyle. They then measure your height and they will also take your weight so that they can calculate your BMI, and they also checked my blood pressure as well. And then all of this information is input into the computer system, which will then generate a risk score. So anything below 12 is low risk. I came out at 3, which is really good. I was actually quite surprised about that given the family history. So usually this would be where your appointment would end and you'd be asked to come back in 3 years' time just to check again. But for the purpose of showing you guys what actually happens at an appointment, I was then given the blood glucose test, which is where they do the finger prick and they take a little drop of blood and they check your blood glucose levels. I was a little bit concerned about this because I am a bit squeamish and I have never had it done before, so I was a little bit worried about maybe it hurting, but honestly it was absolutely fine. There was nothing to worry about. It was over in a second and I didn't feel a thing. So my blood glucose level came out at 6.4. Anything below 6 is normal, so mine was ever so slightly on the high side. The pharmacist did ask me if I had had anything to eat that morning, and I had actually had a yoghurt just before I left the house. And they explained that actually yoghurt is really quite high in sugar, so that was probably the reason for the spike. They suggested that I go back in a few days' time and have a fasting test, so that would mean that I would need to fast for 12 hours before the appointment just to get a more accurate reading. So that's what I did, and I went back a few days later and went through the same test again, and this time my blood glucose level came out at 5.2, which is within normal range, so that was really great news. So all of this is then input into the computer and it will just let you know that you should go back in 3 years' time because you are at low risk. I then came out of the appointment with a printout which detailed my risk score and my blood glucose level. This of course can be passed on to your GP if needed. If it's found that you are at high risk, the pharmacist will just talk you through the things that you can do to reduce that risk. And if it's found that you actually already have type 2 diabetes, then again they will talk you through things that you can do to reverse it, because it is actually reversible. But given my family history and the fact that my diet isn't as good as it could be and my exercise levels aren't particularly great, it does still mean that I am at risk of developing type 2 diabetes in the future. So I am going to be taking part in a 12-week programme with Lloydspharmacy to try to lower my risk further by doing more exercise and eating a better diet. So I am going to be recording my progress each week, so if you'd like to see how I get on with that, then do keep an eye out for those videos. So yeah, it was really interesting going along to the screening and I'm really pleased that my results were good, and it definitely helped to put my mind at rest. If you were concerned that you could be at risk of developing type 2 diabetes, then I would highly recommend that you go along for a screening. Like I mentioned earlier, it is completely free, so you can pop along to the Lloydspharmacy website for more information and to book in an appointment. I hope that you've enjoyed watching this video and that you found it interesting. Thank you very much for watching.